We haven't done one of these in a while. Ladies, gentlemen, and all, today is a very important day. The new Charli XCX album Brat has finally arrived, and it's going to change the entire world over the course of one day. That's the plan, at least. She is the pop diva of the moment, and it's bratification time. I've enjoyed basically every release she's ever put out. I even had a much better time with Crash than I saw most people did, but this new record does seem poised to top that one 2 years on. It's pitched as like a full-on club record, 15 tracks and just over 40 minutes, so most of these are going to be about 2.5 minutes, which shouldn't hopefully be a problem, you know, zipping in, zipping out, short and sweet. This cover art is making quite an impression, and yeah, I was one of the people who saw it at first and was like, is that actually it? But I have kind of come to see what she's going for, you know, removing her face, body and image from the artwork, in contrast with what she's previously done. It's got a kind of like low-res retro 2000s MySpace sort of vibe to it. That shade of green's definitely making you think of sweaty clubs full of lasers and glow sticks. She's dropped 4 singles, so we have already heard a fairly decent chunk of this stuff. Everything's been hitting hard, got no reason to believe this isn't going to be an awesome pop record. So we're beginning with one of these singles, 360, and so there's nothing left to do but wish you all a happy Pride Month, happy Brat Week. Let's begin! Already, it is hitting on these speakers. This definitely feels like the right way to listen to this thing.
Yeah, 360. When you're in the mirror, do you like what you see? When you're in the mirror, you're just looking at me. I'm everywhere, I'm so Julia. That city still sluts the vibe, internationally recognized.
Is this a reference to the breakcore artist Sewer Slut, or is that some widely recognized phrase? I don't know, it could be either way with Charli.
You come jump it, fake G made it. If you love it, if you hate it, I don't fucking care what you think. Drop down, yeah. The camera flash on. So stylish. Maybe tears all gone. Open that. Open that. Open that.
This wasn't one of the strongest singles in my opinion when it came out. But hearing it in this context, I feel like it just makes a lot of sense as an album opener, similar to a track like Next Level Charli. Not taking you on any kind of crazy journey on its own, but just setting the tone nicely for the album. Production's fantastic as usual. It's unbelievably catchy. There's a fair few memorable lyrics that stick in your head. You know, full of references, Julia Fox, A.G. Cook. It's not super new for her, it definitely feels like it could have been on the Charli album, but that was a fantastic album, and I'd say this just lives up to that level of quality. Nothing mind-blowing, but a good start to the record. And we're going into another single, 2 of them stacked at the front of the record. This is one that I know I really enjoy already. Let's see how Club Classics works in album context. I don't want to be sitting down right now.
When I go to the club, I wanna hear this club classics. Club classics, club classics. When I go to the club, I wanna hear those club classics. Club classics, club classics. When I go to the club, I wanna hear those club classics. Club classics, club classics. Yeah, I wanna dance with me. I wanna dance AG. I wanna dance with George. I wanna dance Sophie. I wanna dance hard right. Play the track fast, not slow. Pull it back, trousers close. Slap marks on my coat. Tight like my kind of flow. Yeah, I wanna be going above the lights like nice.
Oh my god, it's so good!
When I get to the club, yeah, I wanna dance to me.
didn't need the confirmation of hearing this in album context, but this just really solidifies it for me. Club Classics is fantastic. And like I said, I'm beginning to regret sitting on a beanbag on the floor reacting to this, because I want to be like standing up in the middle of a packed crowd, like going crazy to this right now. It is just like hitting that vibe on the nail. The production, I believe it is A.G. Cook for most of this album, so that's always a good sign, and he's absolutely killed this one again. That one like wubbing bass sound has my face looking like that one meme that's been going around recently every time it comes in. It's mostly A.G. Cook on this album, but you've also got people like Hudson Mohawk, Gesaffelstein, and a few people like Circuit and Easy Fun, who I hadn't heard of before, but have worked on some incredible projects in the past. Yeah, the production on this album is just ridiculously good. This track's even more full of name drops, of course, with that like first pre-chorus bit. A lot of names you'd expect to hear on... A lot of references you'd expect to hear on a Charli track, but Hudson Mohawk was definitely a cool and interesting name drop. I don't know if he's ever produced for her before, but that would absolutely work, and I can see her getting down to some of his stuff. This track is just so simple and effective. Pop tracks this short can sometimes feel a bit underdeveloped, but for the ideas she's exploring, I think 2.5 minutes is just the perfect span of time to not let anything get remotely stale, just keep it hard-hitting and compact, get that lightning in a bottle feeling. I loved this track even more in album context, and I'm super excited carrying on and seeing if she can keep this level of quality up for the rest of the records. Next track, Sympathy as a Knife. Oh my god! Heavy. This is much heavier than the last couple. Holy shit! Okay, so this is definitely a darker track than the first two. Clearly this isn't just gonna be like a total hedonism fest. And I wouldn't say this is like one of those tracks with, you know, a danceable beat hiding dark lyrics either. It's definitely got quite an overwhelming, cavernous sound with a lot of bite, definitely conveying all of the right emotions. You often get these sort of mood swings on her albums like this, tracks conveying more darkness and anxiety. And it does sound like a sort of sincere personal expression. I guess about moments where you don't want to be hearing the sympathy of people around you, you just need your own space to breathe. It's not too much of a left turn after the first two tracks either. Like, you could still see this working really well in a club setting and being cathartic. Yeah, but overall, just the sound of that track was absolutely gorgeous and huge. Another flat out great track, and I'm so excited that this album is seeming to be everything I hoped it would be. Next we have I Might Say Something Stupid. This one's under 2 minutes long, but let's see if it can pack a punch.
I might say something stupid.
Yeah, who?
Wear these clothes as disguise. I'll go so cold, 'cause I don't know if I belong here anymore. I used to live just for the party. Door is open, I'm famous but not
album's definitely been on a darker streak than I was anticipating with these last couple of tracks. This one, not anything super impactful on its own, almost feeling more like an interlude in album context. Seems to just be expressing like feelings of wanting to return to just, you know, a quiet, ordinary world outside of being Charli XCX, which is definitely understandable, and it's a kind of idea she's explored on tracks before, particularly on the Charli album, I'd say. The production, as I said, is giving slight sort of early 2000s Air vibes, almost, which is interesting. Nothing that's left an incredibly strong or profound impression lyrics and music-wise, but it definitely feels genuine, and it's not a bad track by any means. Now, scratch that, this album really benefited from just sitting with me for a while. This track is, by design, not a big standout moment, but it's such a succinct, open, honest, and effectively conveyed way of getting across some quite deep, complex, and life-altering feelings, all while fitting into the same aesthetics and style that she's built for herself. It definitely feels like the big party girl Charli XCX character and the more vulnerable and introverted side of her are kind of one and the same, just as authentic as each other on this record. I love just how, like, messy and vulnerable she allows herself to be on this album. I think this is a really important piece of the album. Quieter track is definitely of value in this album, making the more hard-hitting moments hit even harder. So speaking of which, let's see what we get with Talk Talk. Oh, it's not a 10-minute post-rock soundscape by the looks of things, but it still could be a banger.
I've been looking at you, putting holes in your head. We've been talking for months, but never in the same room. And you're surrounded by friends, and I'm just wondering what they know. I wish you'd talk, wish you'd talk, wish you'd talk, wish you'd just talk to me.
This has just got such a nice, like, breezy mid-2000s dance music vibe. Almost got the same kind of atmosphere that DJ Sabrina the Teenage DJ goes for with her stuff, but obviously with that sharp, clean pop edge that Charli's known for. Hey, why am I talking? Let's keep going.
And keeping this a secret, and all your friends are still here, and I'm just wondering what they know. I wish you'd talk, wish you'd talk, wish you'd talk, wish you'd just talk to me. Wish you'd just talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. Wish you'd just talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. Talk to me in French, talk to me in Spanish, talk to me in your Arabian language. Doesn't matter if I understand it.
Talk Talk was damn solid. I could definitely see myself bumping this again all throughout the summer. This is one I do feel could have been a little longer. Had like more of a light and shades to it, like maybe a quieter section gradually filtering in a bit more and building up to that final chorus. Making it hit even harder, like you would have had in one of those, you know, Stardust or Mojo tracks that this seems to be inspired by. But as is, it's simple, it's catchy, it sounds really, really damn good. Makes me feel like I'm sipping lemonade on the beach. She's done what she set out to do. And would you look at that, the next track is Von Dutch, and that means shit is about to go down.
It's okay to just admit that you're jealous of me. Yeah, I heard you talk about me just a word on the street. You're obsessed and just confess it, put your hands up.
Hang on a
It's
sec.
obvious I'm your number one, I'm your
Number one, yeah.
I'm just living that life, but that's kind classic, but it's still bad. I get money, you get mad to catch the bad shot. I'm your number one, I'm your number one, I'm your number one. Yeah, it's so obvious.
Volume!
I'm just living that life, but that's kind classic, but it's still bad. Life, but
Von Dutch. What really is there to say? It's a flipping banger and a half. It's not deep. It's just pure Charli braggadocio, and AG bringing his AG game, and it pops the absolute hell off. I can't quite decide which I like more, this original version or the absolutely unhinged remix. But yeah, this album is just keeping it going. That was one of my favourite of the singles she dropped, and in album context, it's just keeping up the momentum. Okay, now we got Everything Is Romantic. A Disney movie. This is like not.
Bad tattoos on leather tan skin. Jesus Christ on a plastic sign. Early nights and white sheets with lace curtains. Capri in the distance.
This is definitely sounding pretty unconventional as far as Charli tracks go. I'm here for it.
Bad tattoos on leather tan skin. Jesus Christ on a plastic sign. All in love again and again. Winding roads through manual drive. Early nights and white sheets with lace curtains. Capri in the distance, in a place that can make you change. Fall in love again and again. Fall in love. Everything is romantic.
Hello.
Everything is romantic. Everything is romantic. Everything is romantic. Sheets with lace curtains, Pompeii in the distance, in a place that can make you change. Fall in love again and again, 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 fall in love again and again.
You know it's serious when the vocoder comes out. Imagine we just get like a full-on click style ending to this thing.
Fall in love again and again, fall in love again and again, fall in love again and again, fall in love again and again.
That was so nice! I'm glad she gave that one a full 3+ minutes to develop from that really, like, grandiose and beautiful opening into the usual propulsive, wonderfully hard-hitting, crunchy beats. And I really enjoyed the sort of, like, wide-eyed, romanticized atmosphere of that one. Very kind of ethereal vocals drifting through the background, and I just feel like that was one that took you on a little mini journey. Like, a lot of these tracks are very kind of just tight, simple, distilled, slightly repetitive pop, but that was definitely a bit more of an ambitious track, and one of my favourites on the record so far. And with that, we're halfway through the record. Let's see if she can keep it up, because this is like well on track to being just what I dreamed of with Brat. Let's see what we get with Rewind.
Sometimes
It's a lot already. It's a 1999 kind of pop.
I'd go back in time to when I wasn't insecure, to when I didn't overanalyze my face shape.
I can relate.
I used to never feel embarrassed when I call out the paparazzi. Everyone else does it constantly, but now I started thinking again, wondering about whether I think I deserve commercial success. It's running through my mind. Sometimes I really think it would be cool to rewind. Sometimes
Definitely feel like that's a direct reprise of a synth setting she used on Charli, which is a neat little touch. Especially because this is basically, like, thematically and musically really just sounding like a kind of modern version of 1999, I guess, which is totally fine to do. But then 1999 was a simple, fun, nostalgic pop song, whereas this is definitely, like, brutally, relatably honest about how she's feeling at the current moment, and I guess a kind of more harmful and bitter form of nostalgia almost, despite how sweet and nice the instrumental sounds. So yeah, there's definitely an interesting tension going on, and I wouldn't say this is any kind of cheap self-reference.
sometimes I just wanna rewind, press rewind. Yeah, yeah, press rewind. Yeah, bring the beat back.
Oh, it's great still. Yeah, like I said, that felt like such a callback to her self-titled album and the track 1999 with the themes of nostalgic longing and everything, with this one bringing a bit more of that kind of overanalyzing imposter syndrome sort of feelings into it. Parts of it definitely fit into that little subgenre of like party beats and melancholic lyrics, but I definitely say it became more overtly kind of wistful towards the end. But when the production was popping off, it was so crisp and booming. Another track that definitely packed in a lot of variety and movement and momentum into a short runtime. Which track was it off Charli? Is this one Warm? Like, it felt like a direct reference to this. I'm guessing that was intentional. But yeah, even if that felt like a slight rewind into the rest of her discography, that was another really, really strong cut. I'm liking where this is going still. And next up we got So I.
Always on my mind, every day, every night. Your star burns so bright. Wanted to push you away. I was scared sometimes.
Slightly predictable
You had a
progression.
power.
Bro, shut up. I'm sorry, this song is so beautiful.
And I know you always said it's okay to cry.
So
So I know I can cry, so I cry. Wish I tried to pull you closer. You pushed me hard, made me focus. It's okay to cry. So I know I can cry, so I cry. Guilty feelings keep me fractured. Your sounds, your words, live on endless. When I make songs, I remember. One of those days, sometimes at night, say that I was singing these songs we left behind. So I
So that was very clearly a tribute to the late great Sophie, who I'm sure you know collaborated with Charli XCX on a number of different occasions. And even if musically and sound-wise that wasn't anything super out of the box or surprising from Charli, sounding typical of one of her ballad-type tracks, just like the overall emotion and feeling that went into that track was so clearly genuine. It's a lovely tribute to her, and since St. Vincent has also made a track referencing Sophie and her death, it's quite beautiful to see such an outpouring of love this year for someone who was such a brilliant talent and such a tragic loss to modern music. And I definitely wouldn't say it's too jarring at all in the context of these more kind of hedonistic club-ready tracks, given there is definitely a bit more of an undercurrent of melancholy flowing through a lot of this album than I was expecting. But yeah, we are on the home straight of this album, and every single track has ranged from good to fantastic so far. I am feeling bratty. Time for Girl So Confusing.
it's so confusing sometimes to be a girl, 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 girl. Yeah, I don't know if you like me. Sometimes I think you might hate me. Sometimes I think I might hate you. Maybe you just wanna be me. People say we're alike. They say we've got the same hair. We talk about making music, but I don't know if it's I know how you feel. It's so confusing sometimes to be a girl. I
honestly enjoy Charli's like full-on unapologetic British accent so much because, like, surprisingly, it's something you hear so little in modern pop music that it's very kind of easily recognizable and brandable, and I just always enjoy her delivery. It's got a lot of personality.
People say we're alike, they say we've got the same hair. One day we might make some music that internet would go.
Oh, is this about Lord? How did Charli feel when she wrote Royals? I wonder if we'll ever know.
Closer to being on the same page.
No, sorry, this probably isn't about Lord, because Lord's been talking publicly about how great Brat is, and I don't think Lord will ever will Charli to fail, even if they are the same person. So
confusing sometimes. Where you go, go.
yeah, that probably was one of the weaker tracks on the album up to this point. Lies, there are no weaker tracks. But I vibe with it. The production is still just head and shoulders over, like, almost all of the modern pop games. So much weight and sparkle, even if it does just sound like the signature Charli sound that we've heard a lot of. It's always a pleasure. And yeah, in answer to her question, it doesn't feel like anything to be a girl, because I'm a boy. But yeah, the impossible, nonsensical nature of misogyny definitely comes across strongly as a theme on this track. It kind of feels like a musical adaptation of that one speech from the Barbie film, I guess. Not really a great comparison, actually, because I definitely say this track is specifically focused on the difficulties of being a woman in the music industry and in the pop music industry, and how people kind of get pitted against each other in a way. Taylor Swift. She definitely made it sound a bit like she was referring to Lord at some points of the song, but then there have also been rumours going around that it's referring to Marina from Marina and the Diamonds. I feel like the important thing, though, is the idea that the track is exploring. I am not in the loop on any kind of beefs between pop stars, and I don't really want to get into that stuff, so yeah, this track is solid. My high hopes remain for these final 5 tracks. This is Apple. Has a certain energy that off the top of my head is very difficult to compare to any other Charli XCX track. Like, it's actually surprisingly not very often at all that we get, like, a laid-back bop from her. I'm forgetting that was kind of the entire Crash album, but honestly, this track is better than any of the cuts on there, in my opinion. But this track is such a, like, nice, summery breath of fresh air. Such a, like, punchy beat moving everything along. But just really, really, like, lovely, bright, pleasant vibes radiating off that one. Even if the extended metaphor there is kind of suggesting some relationship conflict and struggles, like just purely on a musical and production level. It's making me feel really good. And next we've got the final single from this album, so the final track that I've already heard, Back to Back, which I know is going to continue the chain of back-to-back bangers, but we'll see how well it holds up in an album context. That's a little polyrhythm. Here we go. Here we go. to Back is easily one of the clubbiest tracks that Charli's ever made, one of the most club-ready pieces on this album and just in her discography in general. Definitely repetitive, with the first kind of minute and a half just being one repeated hook gradually building up, but that's perfect for the message that this track is trying to convey of a cyclical relationship and a destructive pattern. So it's got just the right structure for that, and a sort of dark and gritty vibe while also being super catchy as per usual. It does basically one thing, but it does it really well, and absolutely holds up. Next track, Mean Girls. On Fridays we wear green.
Yeah, it's 2 a.m. and she's out there in a sheer white dress, wearing last night's makeup, all coquettish in the pictures with the flash on.
It's a story.
Worships Lana Del Rey in her AirPods. Yeah, she's in her mid-20s, real intelligent. I think you already know it, but you don't. This one's for all my mean girls. This one's for all my bad girls.
We're back to like 2011 all the time. I'm here for it.
This one's for all my mean girls. This one's for all my bad girls. This one's for all my calls and daddy while she's fingering a gold cross, and she's kind of fucked up, but she's still in vogue. Yeah, she's in her mid. She already knows that you're obsessed.
God, we got like MIDI pianos all over the place. This is a big throwback to all sorts of different eras. I'm gonna keep referencing Charli, even though I don't think that these two albums are that similar at all, because I just don't feel like she's had this much unbridled energy and life in her music since that album era, all the way back before lockdown, which definitely makes sense, but this album is just, she is coming back hard. All of these tracks are so like verdant and full of little details and propulsive momentum and flow. And for the record, I don't endorse being mean to people. It's not very nice. But that track did make it sound fun as hell to be a mean girl, so I'll consider that one a success. Penultimate track, I Think About It All the Time.
I think about it all the time. I might run out of time, but I finally met my baby, and the baby might be mine. I was walking around in Stockholm, seriously thinking about my future for the first time. I went to my friend's place and I met their baby for the first time. How sublime, what a joy, oh my, standing there. She's a radiant mother and he's a beautiful father, and now they both know these things that I don't.
Yeah, this album's definitely getting especially personal and autobiographical, which is definitely welcome. This beat's a little Pink Pantheress-esque, in a good way, I'd say.
And they're exactly the same, but they're different now. And I'm so scared I'm missing out on something. So, we had a conversation on the way home. Should I start my birth control? Because my career feels so small in the existential scheme of it all. Think about it all the time.
Okay, so it sounds like we might be getting a Charli Jr. On the way some point in the near future. Yeah, that was a nice, more laid-back track again. Just sprinkling a few little bits of variety in the terrain of this album. So it's almost just wall-to-wall bangers, but not quite. That one did definitely feel like an album track, just a kind of short 2-minute piece that doesn't move through any crazy shifts or hit you super hard. But again, I really can't fault this album too much in any particular way. These more low-key cuts just work into the overall flow of things and make the heavier moments hit even harder. Speaking of which, That's probably what we're going to be getting with 365. I like how she's bookended the album with 360 and 365, a little bit like 1999 and 2099, again on Charli. One last cut on here, let's hope it rounds everything out in style. Okay, so it sounds like a remix. Okay, we're back. I have a sneaking suspicion this track is going to do something very weird very suddenly. I may not be right, but I would certainly enjoy being right. Oh, you have no idea.
What the fuck are you? I'm a brat when I'm bumping that. No, I wanna hit my track. Are you bumping that? 365 party girl. Shall we do a little key? Shall we have a little rhyme? Wanna go real wild when I'm wipe away the residue. Push my hair back, look hot when I'm bumping that. No, I really don't stop when I'm bumping that. Gonna drop when it drops when I'm bumping that. Down 999, it's a good time. Who the fuck are you? I'm a brat when I'm bumping that. No, I wanna hit my track. Are you bumping that? Till the windows crack, I'll be bumping that. No, I'll never go home, don't sleep, don't eat. Just do it on repeat. Keep. When I'm in the club, yeah, I'm 365 party girl.
Oh my god!
Should be really bumping that. No, I'll never go home, don't sleep, don't eat. Just do it on repeat. Keep. When I'm in the club, yeah, I'm 365 party girl. Should we do a little key?
Hell yes! I was a little bit worried where it just started out pretty much exactly like the original 360, given that's, you know, not a track I love enough to want it to bookend the album in two very similar versions. But when that took a sudden detour into this, like, dirty, growling bass line, I was just like, that was exactly what I wanted. Great note to end the album on. Definitely a sense of finality, and yeah, that was Brat. This album was bratty, it bratted hard, I've been bratified 15 times, ready to do it all again. I'm super pleased with what we got. There was a lot of hype and it managed to live up to it. It was more or less what I expected, but executed with all the consistency I hoped it would have. Quite a decent amount of variety as well, because it was made up of so many short individual pieces that didn't segue into each other at any point or anything. I definitely didn't get the strongest sense of like a front to back cohesive album experience compared to something like How I'm Feeling Now, where you just listen to it and immediately get the sense of the whole thing as one piece. Yeah, it's kind of more a mixtape type feel, but 3 listens later and I am not bothered at any point by any of the sequencing. I kind of disagree with what I just said there. It's very tight and logical from front to back and a great unified listen. But the whole 360 and 365 thing definitely helped to still give it a sense of coming full circle, which was very satisfying. Like I said, there's not a bad or average track in the mix. There's some nice low-key cuts and some tracks that absolutely melt your face off gloriously, make you want to hull yourself into the nearest sweaty pit of dancing pop girlies. And even though making this full-on dance music almost feels like what she was born to do, her music has never felt this full-on club ready before, apart from maybe the Vroom Vroom EP from 2016. But like even when she is going more danceable, like on Charli, for every banger you'd get some kind of, you know, weird, more experimental beatless electronic piece, or something would swerve into a weird, unpredictable direction. And that was kind of also the case on How I'm Feeling Now, and that album also had a sense of like claustrophobia and lockdown frustration, so all the danceability almost felt like sort of fantasies or like an imaginary like escape in your mind to a different place rather than, you know, actually being in the present, back in the clubs, which is exactly what this album comes across as. Which, like, even as someone who has never been to a club in my life because I'm under the legal age, I definitely appreciate the sentiment, given clubbing is kind of becoming like a lost art form in 2024. She's just encouraging people to get out there and live life to the fullest. I'm definitely going to give it a lot more time, give it a lot more shots in the near future, just to see how my feelings on it evolve, how it sits with me. But right now I'm definitely feeling like that Tops crash absolutely lives up to Charli's high standards. I've had a good think, and as much as Charli and How I'm Feeling Now are both, like, equally fantastic albums in my eyes, and have their particular merits that only they bring individually in Charli's catalogue, I think this might be my favourite album she's ever made. It's Brat Day, Brat Week. It's gonna be a whole Brat summer bumping this album, and right now I'd say I'm comfortably sitting at about an 8.5 out of 10 on this one. This album gets my full endorsement. Go out and stream it, or maybe don't, because I kind of feel bad for using Spotify right now, given how absolutely tyrannical and idiotic the company is being at the moment. Go and support Charli directly. Buy the album, go to her shows. I would most certainly like to do so after hearing this new record. But for now, thank you so much for watching this silly little reaction video. I've had a lot of fun, and I hope you have too. Stay bratty. See you next time.